Can you shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
We are Americans. We're not going anywhere, and we will continue to be in this country.
Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like President Trump's decision to surge federal ICE agents into Minnesota's Somali community is already paying dividends, because Ilhan Omar is suddenly running scared to the friendly media, forced to explain why her own brothers and sisters in that community, the very people who keep sending her to Congress, and also, ironically, a person she married in order to come to the United States. But anyway, I digress. She's being forced to explain how this third world community under her watch and the watch of Governor Tim Walz somehow managed to pull off the largest fraud scheme in Minnesota state history. And how does she explain it? Well, she points the finger at yet another massive fraud perpetuated on the American people. And any guesses what that massive fraud is? Well, if you guessed COVID, you would be right. She's blaming COVID, the same pandemic that locked us down, enriched Big Pharma, and conveniently serves as the perfect scapegoat for everything these days. Yes, that is correct. According to Ilhan Omar, the biggest theft of taxpayer money Minnesota has ever seen is apparently just another side effect of COVID. But don't take my word for it. Listen to her squirm when Jake Tapper actually presses her on it. You can hear the panic in her voice as the Trump administration starts cleaning up the third world enclaves she's spent years protecting.
First of all, federal prosecutors say 59 people have been investigated in these schemes so far. Americans at large stole tens of billions of forms of aid during the pandemic all over the country. Minnesota's fraud scandal stands out, according to federal auditors. What are you hearing from investigators right now?
Well, I've been following the cases closely as they've gone through the courts, and we know that there are more indictments possibly coming. I think that number might go up to 73 is what I'm hearing.
Okay. Can you shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, you know, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
Now, obviously, whatever the ethnic group, the actions of a few dozen should not impugn an entire community of thousands of people.
I don't know about you guys, but when I listened to that clip, I heard nothing but a lot of ums, uhs, and well coming out of her mouth. She was flailing frantically, and she was grasping for any excuse that might explain how the very community she represents, her own people, the heart of that third world enclave in Minneapolis, how they managed to orchestrate the biggest fraud in Minnesota history. And honestly, it's almost comical. She wants us to believe that even during the so-called COVID chaos with all of those rush programs, nobody noticed billions of federal dollars disappearing. Not her, not Tim Walz, not a single soul in her office. Come on. We're talking about your money, your hard-earned tax dollars. This money was supposed to feed hungry American kids, but instead, it was getting siphoned straight into the pockets of third world migrants flying under her protection. Yet there she is, sitting on CNN, staring Jake Tapper dead in the eye, swearing up and down she had zero clue any of this was happening. I'm sorry, but that doesn't pass the smell test. Not even close. The denial is so thick you could cut it with a knife, and the only thing she's guilty of is thinking we're all stupid enough to buy it. But that's not even the best part. So after fumbling through her excuses for why her community got caught red-handed siphoning billions of your tax dollars, she shifts into full victim mode and starts frantically defending why all these people should get to stay, no questions asked. And instead of giving even a single logical reason, not one. She instead defaults to the oldest trick in the Democrat playbook, the one conservatives know by heart. TDS on full blast, but here's where it gets truly sinister. She doesn't just whine about Trump. She straight up accuses him of sending ICE into Minneapolis, not because of the largest fraud in state history, not because of the no-go zone vibes, not because of the avalanche of fraudulent visas. No. In her telling, the real reason federal agents are finally showing up is pure racism. She all but says it out loud. Trump sees brown refugees who fled war and instantly decides they don't belong here because he's a bigot. That's it. That's the whole argument. And then, in what she clearly thought was a mic drop moment, she puffs out her chest, looks right into CNN cameras, and tries to issue a stern warning to Donald Trump and every MAGA American watching. She says, "We are Americans. We're not going anywhere. We will continue to be in this country." But, lady, I don't think anybody's impressed. All we heard was a career politician whose district just got exposed for epic theft, suddenly screaming, "You can't touch us," while hiding behind the race card. Message received. The audits are working. The ICE raids are working, and Ilhan Omar is absolutely terrified of what happens when the money spigot finally gets turned off.
Shocking to hear it, although I don't know how shocked you are at this point anymore. But Somali immigrants, in general, you in particular, have been the target of his attacks for a long time. What's your response?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked because we know that the president oftentimes resorts to very bigoted, xenophobic, Islamophobic, racist rhetoric when he is trying to scapegoat and deflect from the actual failures that he has himself. We know that this administration has not fulfilled majority of the promises that they've made, whether it is bringing costs down, whether it is the tariffs that are decimating businesses in the United States, whether it is the possible war crimes that his defense secretary is committing. And so to me, it is important for us, one, to remind folks that we are Americans. We're not going anywhere, and we will continue to be in this country. And two, that Minnesotans are resilient, and we will continue to thrive.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think Ilhan Omar is fooling anyone, and she even goes as far as to once again spin up that old story of war crimes. Absolutely despicable. But what do you guys think? What do you think about Ilhan Omar? Is she running scared, or do you think she's actually putting on a brave face, going onto the media and trying to convince people that she and the rest of her community actually deserves to be here? I think she's trying, but I think she's failing. But let me know what you think about all of this down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. But until then, I'll see you on the next one.